everybody, thank you for joining me today. Today I thought it would be fun to play with blending. The pens I have to blend for you is pretty much every brush type marker that I had. This includes the Tombow, Crayola's Super Tips, which honestly my favorite. Then I have the UBs for you. I've recently done a comparison of the UBs, the Creatology, and the Artist Loft watercolor dual tip markers. And just for fun, I decided to throw in the Pentel Touch pens as well. So yeah, I thought it would be fun to play and blend and see. For blending today, I have the Tombow blender pens. They're just clear. Then I have a water pen. These you can get from pretty much anywhere. I believe this is just from Michael's. And then for my paper, I am using the Blick brand Smooth Bristol paper. You can watercolor on this one, so we're gonna give this a try. And then I also just have a piece of acetate that I will be using to put down ink and pick it up with a new marker. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so there we go. So one of the ways you can blend is you can find a surface. You can laminate paper, you can use just a bowl, not a bowl, a plate, anything that you can just put ink down and then be able to pick it up with another marker. So this is the Tombow. So let's give this a try. Okay, so there's with the Tombow marker. Just want to get some of the ink off here. And then your tips are going to stay in good condition there. Okay, so that's one way. Another way to do it is to use your, what's this called? The blender one? Your blender pen, actually. Let's do it this way. Let's just go. So as you can see, even though I had different ink in here, it pretty much didn't transfer over. So let's give this a try. Okay, so I'm using the blender pen for this one to just I'm not doing the greatest job here, but I don't want to get my head in the way of the camera either, so that I can make sure I'm just picking it up properly. Okay, so there's another way of blending. Again, if you just take a scrap piece of paper, you can get that tip pretty clean, which is great. And then just to move things along here, we're going to blend with the water pen. Okay, squeeze just a little bit through there, and that's what you're going to get there. And so that'll be with the water pen. When you're doing that with lettering, you want to be very careful you don't splodge water all over everything. You can do that by keeping a paper towel or a cloth nearby, and then just making sure you're wiping down your nib as you go, and not to be too heavy-handed. But that's the effect of the Tombow. Very pretty. Okay. Okay, next up we're going to have a look at the blending of the Crayola markers. So again, first we're going to put it down on the acetate. We're going to pick it up. So I've clearly used this green a lot, so the nib isn't as pristine as it used to be. So that is what it is. Okay, so that's what you're looking at with the Crayola. Let's get this guy done here. So that's with your Crayola Super Tip. And yes, I fight my son for Crayola Super Tips because, I mean, this is just the color green I used. I actually have the 100 pack that I got on sale from Walmart for about, I think, $15. So I have a lot of colors to choose from, which is great, but they are pretty comparable to the Tombow, which is nice. Like I said, I've used mine a lot, so my tip isn't quite as in good shape as when I first purchased it. So that's just the one thing to note about the Crayolas. So next up we'll do the UBs. Okay, so as you can see, there's like no difference. So that's, like I said, really disappointing. So let's see if we can come up with something good here. Or maybe the colors were just too similar. Okay, yeah, maybe the colors were just too similar, so it wasn't coming out well. But this is looking pretty good. It's a lot more subtle. But with the UBs, there's less color to choose from, so it gets a bit challenging when you start putting things together. Let's do this. So not quite good on the watercolor front, on the blendability front. Okay, let's do some creatology. Okay, I mean, not bad. Not my favorite, but not bad. I can already feel the paper pushing against the ink in terms of saturation. So when you use the blender pen, what's happening is you're just further saturating the paper. So I don't know if these guys are your best bet for blending like this, because it's going to destroy your paper. I mean, maybe you use these primarily or strictly on watercolor paper. The write-up for this paper says it can handle watercolor, but apparently it has its limit. But just to note, the blender pen, all the inks are coming off of it, which is great. Okay, let's do our watercolor test. Yeah, okay, so what's happening is it's pulling up the paper from oversaturation, so not the greatest for watercolor. Artist's Laugh, I have high hopes for Artist's Laugh. So it's picking up a little bit of the paper, not as badly as the Creatology was, but you're definitely not getting the smoothness that you saw in the other two in terms of blending. Okay, and watercolor effect. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Let it dry. Okay. And something, I've never actually tried to blend the Pentel touches before, so I'm actually really excited to see what these guys do. Okay. Oof. I don't know if these are going to work as well, but let's try. Okay. These were more of a wild card entry anyways, so yeah. These were just let's see what happens. I mean, right away it's easier because it's a smaller tip and it's a harder tip, which is great if you're learning, if you're just starting out. Okay, here we go. My blue is not happy with me. Okay, where did I put my blender? Oh, there it is. Okay. So there you go. There you have the 6 different pens with their watercolor effect. As you can tell, the Tombow is by far superior in terms of the effect. Crayola is a close second, which is surprising. The Artist Loft is still drying, so if you want to see the final effects, you can check out my blog. I'll link it down below. Creatology, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I don't care for them as much. UB, you don't have as much of a variety of color to try and get that effect, but definitely in terms of overall feel, effect, and usability, I would definitely lean toward the Crayola, considering the price, considering what they are. They did a really good job. The most expensive here are the Tombows, and obviously they have a great reputation. The Pentel Touch, like I said, if you're just starting out, that's a harder nib. It's not actually a brush pen at all. Well, it is a brush pen, but it's a hard tip brush pen versus the others are soft tips. So I just wanted to see what it would do. Thank you for joining me today. You can check out my blog for links to the products and the prices. I'm not affiliated with any of these brands. This all came out of my pocket. I just like to play and see. Thank you very much.